Hello everyone. If you are planning to buy real estate in Thailand, in Phuket, or even if you're not planning to, but you're interested in where people are investing money today, where people are buying real estate for the highest returns, and what the risks are, then you definitely should watch this fast video. Today I came to one of the largest developers in Phuket, to an already completed and realized complex. Especially for you, I will meet with the CEO of this construction company and ask the most tricky and interesting questions. What risks does an investor face today when buying foreign real estate? And why is it worth buying property in Phuket today? And today, especially for you, I met with the CEO of one of the largest construction companies in Phuket. Vadim, good afternoon. Hi Roga, thank you so much for finding time in your busy schedule for our viewers and answering the most tricky questions.
Let's do it. You've piqued my interest.
Of course, what risks does a buyer face when purchasing property in Thailand?
It depends on what stage they are buying at. If they are buying here, what are the risks? Will you buy it and then just live there?
Yes, I should note right away that we are already in a completed complex, that you have built and implemented, and it is fully operational.
Well, not completely. The hotel is fully operational. There was a soft opening with one restaurant, but the entire complex will open within 2 to 3 months.
We will definitely show it to you, but let's start with the basics. How many years has your company been in the market?
This year it will be 12 years.
Wow, that's significant. I know that in Thailand it's quite difficult to get a construction permit, and it's quite challenging to register land ownership under a foreign company.
It's quite difficult, but everything is possible. That is to say, in reality, everything is clear here. And all the land rules are transparently outlined. You can buy through a Thai company, you need a Thai partner. It's mandatory to have a Thai partner in the company, but you can simply buy it. And then to get the permit, you need to comply with all the standards during the design phase, design it, and obtain the so-called EIA, which is an environmental certificate. And with it, they double-check everything here to ensure everything is according to standards and laws, and then they grant permits without any issues. Therefore, if you do everything correctly and according to the law, there are no problems with this.
You get the permit. In general, how did your company start? Did you immediately begin with construction?
No. The parent company is Villa Cards. It's a service company. Kind of an agency, but I don't like the word agency because we provide much more service. That is, we meet people at the airport, take care of people. Well, for example, things like car rentals, yachts, nannies, some staff. Then buying real estate, then managing this real estate, cleaning, check-ins, check-outs. We handle everything turnkey in our company.
This means you have extensive management experience, and the management company will work well.
Well, probably it was from this pain that we came into development because we didn't like how things are built here, the quality of materials, the layouts, and we decided to build everything our own way.
Why should a buyer pay attention specifically to your company? Well, the most important thing is what?
Our competitors. Yes, competitive advantages. Firstly, we managed to build in our segment the quality that no one before us could. For some reason, they couldn't build it. Although, in reality, it's just a little more attention. Then, there's sustainability. So, what does that mean? Not just the word sustainability, which is vague and unclear. What's behind it? That is, we received the first H certificate in Thailand for a hotel and residences. What does this mean? It involves around 150 criteria, such as the quality of the water in the pool, which should be chlorine-free, the type of windows, such as with specific coatings to save electricity and maintain coolness inside. We have double glazing, while everyone else in Thailand uses single glass. Then there's the smart home system. The materials themselves must be eco-friendly. In general, there are many criteria. We met all of them and received this world-class certificate. This sets us apart significantly, not just in Phuket, but throughout Thailand. Then what? Then, for example, here are all our other competitors. They build buildings up to the allowed height of 23 meters, constructing 8 floors, while the maximum is 7 floors. No, the issue isn't about the number of floors, but rather, in 23 meters, you can fit 8 floors, but the ceilings will just be 2.4 meters high. And we have 2.75 meter ceilings and 7 floors, so we lost 1 floor. A strong competitive advantage. Well, regarding space, there are many great layouts and we have excellent furniture quality.
Well, in general, among the main risks, yes, when buying real estate, especially if you are purchasing a property under construction, you are promised a certain quality. But to check what the actual quality of the property will be, you can look at pictures.
People come to us and say that in person it's actually better and more beautiful than in the pictures.
And you have the huge advantage of having a completed complex. So you can see the quality of the real estate here. We will definitely show you the territory of this complex now. Is there anything still for sale here?
Everything here is already sold. There are some small studios available.
But I know that the second phase is under construction.
Yes, the second phase, there are still some available. The second phase is even more premium. There are more apartments there. In general, it's different, hence the second phase. And we are planning another project there in the future, which we will also talk about a little in this episode.
And in the second phase, what is the starting price for apartments like studios of 38 square meters?
Let's round it up. Even if it's 150,000, on average about 6 million, around $170,000.
$173.
178. And it's literally 5 minutes to the sea. If walking, then about 10 minutes. And if by car, it's 1 minute, well, 2 minutes. Well, by the way, it's not much.
Let's talk about the area where this complex is located. How did you choose the plot? What were the criteria? What did you base your decision on when selecting the land?
Actually, this Bangtao beach is the most developed here. There is a huge developer here who bought it 30 years ago. A huge plot of land, over 500 hectares with golf courses, various 5-star hotels, many restaurants, shops. In short, a well-developed infrastructure and a very beautiful beach, 8 kilometers long. Along this beach, there is a lot of infrastructural real estate made, plus a lot of residential real estate, villa, condominiums, and that's why it's one of the most prestigious areas in Phuket.
So we are in the showroom of an already completed complex, where the second phase is either being built. And we'll tell you a little about the complex itself. Vadim, you mentioned that the water in your pool is chlorine-free. Yes, how does it start?
It is purified with silver ions and some kind of ultraviolet sound. Super latest technology. This technology is developed somewhere in Australia, and in general, it is unique in the world. And we have installed it here.
I think for those who come to relax with children, this is a great solution. Your complex is called Alloy Young Free, meaning greenery, lots of greenery. We will definitely show the territory of the complex. There is indeed a lot of greenery.
Yes, a lot. A headache for ourselves. We created it for ourselves, but actually, yes, I really like it. It's beautiful, but in general, Phuket, it is good because there is a lot of greenery here, a lot of oxygen. The ocean breeze flows through everything, and that's why we wanted to emphasize this natural aspect in the project.
We talked about the fact that the land ownership is in order. It's in a package. There are possibly 2 forms of ownership, freehold or leasehold. I remind our viewers that freehold code is full ownership. Leasehold is a limited right of use, let's say. It's property ownership for a limited number of years. In your complex, can one acquire both leasehold and freehold?
Yes, in all condominiums you can buy the form of ownership, leasehold and freehold. The only difference is that freehold, you can buy this apartment in both leasehold and freehold. The only difference is that the owner will have the right to, well, kind of own, conditionally own the land which, according to the square meters of this area in the Chanote, the land will also belong to them. Everything else is also available in leasehold, meaning you can sell it, mortgage it somewhere to get money, pass it on as inheritance. All of this can be done. That's why most investors still choose leasehold. If we are talking about investment freehold, yes, it is more expensive due to taxes and more expensive bupa because of the quota. As developers, we sell this quota for around 10 to 15,000 per square meter, depending on various factors. Or other developers sell it entirely, meaning 300,000 baht or 500,000 baht. What will I grow into? Leasehold is also for 30 years with the right to extend, yes, 30, and 2 times for 30, but it is not renewable.
So, is there a situation where, upon resale, the new owner gets a renewed leasehold term?
Is yours renewable or non-renewable? Let's say, even after 10 years, for example, you bought a lease after 10 years, you decided to sell it, then the new buyer re-registers it and they get a new 30-year term, which is absolutely wonderful.
And is it possible, if I bought a leasehold, to later convert it to freehold?
If there is a quota, then yes, it is possible.
If there is a remaining free quota?
Yes.
And generally in the first phase, for example, if there is still availability?
There is. Few people buy leasehold. I don't remember exactly how many apartments are leasehold, but there is definitely a quota.
But those who really move here to live are the ones who take leasehold.
That is, I would say, there are no more. You can live there without problems. More for those who are thinking of a gift, then inheritance, then leaving it to children. Or some Europeans who don't understand this form of ownership, leasehold, so they buy freehold. Because it's to pass on to children. For example, yes, in our mentality, renting is kind of strange, yes. Therefore, to gift, for example, a lease, it is a form of ownership, so they buy freehold to have full ownership forever.
The complex itself includes, besides pools, a large number of big pools, a gym, probably a restaurant, a hall.
You can go take a look and also rent to understand better. That is one of the best gyms with the world's best techno gym equipment, like the Lamborghini in the equipment sphere. Truly Italian. 2 restaurants, a sky bar, saunas. We have a large spa center, reception. And how much will the owner pay the management company for maintenance? Let's say 75 baht per square meter, depending on the apartment size of 100 square meters. An apartment, 7,500 baht per month. That's approximately $200 annually. That's for a large 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom. And a small studio, 50 square meters, is half that. It comes to $1,000 per year.
Most of our buyers still consider purchasing real estate primarily for investment. And as an investor, it would be important for me to know if I can easily resell these apartments, resell this property if necessary.
Here we already have personal deals. People who bought at the initial stage and sold, they managed to earn about X2. That is twice as much. When they bought earlier at 100,000 baht per square meter, now it's 200,000 baht and there are deals. But they probably got in at the stage of excavation on a draft. And so let's say yes, there wasn't even a permit yet. How easy? Well, it all depends on the price, the market, the season, and you don't have it on resale.
Of course, where companies simply specify in the contract.
There, in our under construction projects, when we are just starting, we have these restrictions. It is written there somehow that until we sell 80% ourselves, we do not resell to people who bought, to prevent dumping. Yes, to prevent dumping. But if, for example, you bought real estate here, an apartment, then I basically can't forbid you to resell it. That is, you simply make an assignment. In the contract, there is also a clause where you pay 50,000 baht to make an assignment. And that's it. We change the contract to the new buyer, but you need to bring the buyer yourself.
All right, yes. If an investor acquires real estate and wants to receive passive income by renting it out, I heard that you even have a guaranteed income system.
It's no longer available here, but in new projects, yes, it is, depending on the programs. If people pay 100% upfront, and it's not finished yet, for example, we already start the guaranteed income. There is payment. Yes, generally there are three, I think 5% for years, or there were some programs. We have 5% for 7 years, generally something like that.
And if we don't rely on guaranteed income, do you have a management company that will specifically handle the rentals?
Of course, this is what you have already built here. A business team, system, equipment, everything has been purchased. Various laundries, restaurants. We will manage all of this ourselves.
By the way, when you buy an apartment, in your complex, what is included in the purchase price?
Well, everything is fully furnished. Yes, of course, we have more than half, about 70% of our buyers are investors. They buy to receive passive income, and after purchasing this property, here they leave it with us. Of course, we ourselves are interested in furnishing, making everything ready for living.
By the way, what percentage does the management company take for renting out the property?
40%. 40% goes to the management company, 60% to the owner.
The complex has just launched, but what is the projected return? After all, what is the average expected return?
For this rental pool of 60%, I don't know, on average, probably 7 to 8%. Well, up to 10, if it's 10, that would be very good.
In fact, if you are really considering buying property for investment and would like to avoid absolutely all risks, then this complex is perfect. It is already fully ready. And if we consider buying property in a building under construction, I know you have a new huge one being built. A huge, simply stunning complex. I have seen the renderings. It will indeed be a very beautiful complex. What risks does the buyer face in case of incomplete construction or long-term construction?
I think this formula is very clear and simple for any investor. What does this mean? The earlier you enter the project, the higher your risks as an investor. Something might go wrong. For example, when we started building, it was right during the pandemic. Initially the construction, it was at the end of 2020, even the beginning of 2021. That is in the midst of the pandemic. But we started building and everything stopped here. And developers like Laguna, those with a long history, everything just came to a halt and no one was building anything. Well, how could this have been predicted? These are very experienced developers. They've built a lot. And then the pandemic came and that was it. Everyone was sent home and it was impossible to work. So construction was stopped. It's the same here. There are always risks. If it's not completed, if it's just the beginning, external and internal. External risks are like a pandemic, some kind of coups, natural disasters that we don't know about at all. We simply don't know. They can halt construction, freeze construction, something like that. Internal risks, they are always there anyway. Right now we are gathering the best in the world, top experts in architecture, a group of architects for construction, for everything. But they are still there, well, who knows? I don't know what might happen, but maybe someone could go crazy, maybe something could happen that we can't influence right now. That's why risks are always present. But for these risks, there is a reward. I mean, like what I'm saying. Yes, people invested here 3 years ago, took a risk, and basically got a ready Christmas with a return of X2. Those who didn't take the risk and bought now got the current price, and that's it.
That's the difference today, actually, in Phuket. I would say it's almost at the top. A huge amount of money is flowing into real estate investments today. A large number of investors are coming in. Why did you choose Phuket at the time? Vadim, as the most experienced developer?
Having been in the market for so many years, yes, look, Margot, first of all, maybe it's a bit of a crude joke, who knows? It just happened by luck, you know, as they say. There wouldn't be happiness without misfortune. So I once flew here in a depressive state, having gone bankrupt. I separated from my wife. In general, everything was quite sad, but I ended up in a place that is developing Phuket itself, it's beautiful. Look at these beaches, look at this nature, these amazing people, the climate, the cuisine. Well, I was blown away when I flew here in 2012. I looked around and thought, wow, damn, this is paradise on earth. By the way, if anyone still doesn't know, 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 here, the unit of measurement for land is called a rai. You know that, right? So I don't know if it's a coincidence, I don't think so. Paradise on earth exists. It's in Thailand, and it has limited dimensions. 16 areas make up 1 RA. If you want 2 RA, you need 32 areas in your lifetime. So you can reach paradise in your lifetime. And it's here in Phuket. And this is like a metaphor, sort of a play on words. But not for me. For me, I like everything here. I like the climate, the people, the business opportunities, the healthcare. I like everything.
Paradise islands for living. Investments, of course. By the way, what do you think about the overall prospects for the real estate market development in Phuket? The land will soon run out.
Yes. I think it will be strong. Well, in about 10 years it will. It's already very different compared to 10 years ago. If you go back, a lot has been built here. Many tunnels, roads, an international airport, some ports, hotels. Not to mention the hotels, there are just hundreds of condominiums here. And in another 10 years, I think the boom is just starting now. Just so you understand, 42 new launch projects have appeared in this area in a year.
So, like, in this area of Bangtao, there are currently many projects, but no price?
I wouldn't trust everyone, to be honest. Well, yes, some will be completed, some won't. That's also a thing. The competition to one is big now, but for Phuket, it's very good. And for buyers, it's very good.
And for those who are still afraid to buy foreign property, afraid to invest, what advice would you give?
If you have money and need to balance risks, then buy something that is ready or almost ready. There's no point in risking.
Obviously, the return will be a bit lower, on the contrary. Lower, yes, but there will be no risks at all.
When looking at investments, there's also the aspect of construction. On one hand, the risks are higher, but on the other hand, they are lower because there's an installment plan. If it's already ready, there's no installment plan, you have to pay the whole amount. There you pay the first installment of 35%, and then as the construction progresses, you pay as a shared participation in the construction. And in this sense, the risks are also lower, among other things.
I think that today, as of now, it's really the right time to invest in Phuket.
Well, I think so too.
The main thing is not to miss this moment.
I think so too. The window of opportunity opens and closes. In the next 3 years, I think we will see growth. And the sales volumes will be large. And the investment volumes here will be large. In about 3 years, I think that there will probably be another X2 from the current price. We've already had an X2, and now there will be another X2. Because it's logical, there's less and less land. There are many developers now, and everything that's being built is being sold. Well, it's logical that all this will affect the price.
Vadim, thank you so much. I think and hope that this interview was interesting and comprehensive for our viewers. If you have any questions left, I remind you that you can always write them below, in the comments under this video. Also, leave your contact information, and we will send you the best offers. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give us a like. Vadim, once again, thank you for your valuable time. And until we meet again, wishing everyone a good day and a great mood.